everyone, so today I wanted to do a video on products I feel like don't get enough love. Products that I have maybe discovered on my own that I've really ended up liking and I haven't heard very many people talk about, or products that I've heard maybe one or two people talking about, but for the quality of the product not enough people are talking about, and just things that I feel like are kind of underappreciated. Especially, you know, I love giving a good product some spotlight time if it's good. If it's bad, I'm not going to give it the time of day, of course, unless I'm giving it the time of day to put it in its place. But these are just some things, I mean, it's not very many products, but I feel like it's something that's worth checking out, considering that like I said, I don't hear the mass media. I mean, these are not your NARS Orgasm blushes, your Urban Decay Naked palettes. This is not these products, you know, those are products that are talked about by everyone all across the board, and these maybe have just been given a shout out by a few people, maybe including myself. But anyway, so in no order, something I really want to give a big shout out to, and I think they changed the name and changed the formulation a little bit, but nonetheless, it's still an amazing product. The Bobbi Brown Oil-Free Even Finish Compact Foundation, which I think is now the Long Wear Compact Foundation. You guys, this is ridiculously good. I use this essentially as concealer now because I have this shade Beige 3. I use this as concealer because it really does layer upon itself really nicely. It'll give you nice coverage in one application, but you can layer it and it doesn't look heavy. And I think all that they did was change the name and change the formulation a little bit, but it couldn't be such a drastic change that the product sucks now. But I absolutely adore this. This is a compact foundation I think everyone needs to give a shot to. It's not as slippery as the NARS Radiant Cream Compact Foundation, which I've really grown to like. At first I didn't like it, but I've grown to really like it. It's not as slippery as that, but it's also not as dry as like a Cover FX cream foundation. So it sits really nicely in between and it looks invisible on the skin and I adore it. Let's see, another Bobbi Brown product that I don't actually have a full size of, but I use this enough to know, and it's the Sheer Finish Pressed Powder, the pale yellow one. I think all of her Sheer Finish pressed powders, I was looking at them yesterday, there's a lot of them are kind of strange colors. There's a pale yellow, there's a basic brown, which is kind of like a nice neutral, slightly cool brown, and they're all sheer, so depending on your skin tone you can use them as different things. I really like the pale yellow underneath my eyes because it's really quite sheer, like I said, and so it doesn't give you that stark, you know, sunglass tan looking bright under eye area. That's what I really like using this for, is to set under eyes, to brighten it up ever so slightly, but not change it enough to where it looks like it's a completely different color from the rest of my face. And the texture is so nice and airy, and really it's quite a dry powder. There's not a lot of density to it. It's quite light and airy, and so I really like that. And I don't hear enough people talking about that. So, and if I run out of this one in my little touch-up kit, then I will buy a full size because it's just nice to kind of have on hand. Laura Mercier Mineral Powder. I was talking to the girls that work at the counter near mine, bless their hearts, they've been with Laura Mercier for years, and there's actually another product by Laura Mercier called Secret Finish, and it's mattifying, and it's the gel kind of consistency. I put that on and I was completely floored at how great it was. I didn't buy it, and I don't know that I will because I do have other products that are similar to that, but when I was talking to the girls at the counter, they had never really used it, and I asked them if they liked the mineral powder, and they didn't have too much of a strong opinion on it. I adore this. I know that Coco LaRue has talked about this, and so has Lisa SZ09, two wonderful ladies that I watch and I adore. If you can see how much I've used of this, I mean, I have like about half of it left. And the reason I love this so much is because it gives a finish that looks luminous. Like, it's a luminous finish powder, not a sparkly, there's no glitter in here, but it just will allow your face to catch the light ever so slightly, and it looks completely amazing. This is great on its own. I also use this to top a foundation that maybe is a little bit too light. I do have a rich vanilla, which is a bit dark for me. I'm more of a real sand, but I do use this sort of as some warmth on the perimeter of my face to kind of set a foundation that's a little too light. For extra SPF protection, there's like 20% zinc oxide in here or something crazy. But this, just the finish of this is unlike any powder I've really ever seen, considering that it is a mineral powder. So I do really, really, really like this a lot. Maybelline Fit Me foundation, I know Goss makeup artist talked about this, but I tried this like 3 or so years ago and I love this. Like I said in a previous video, this is very similar to Chanel Vita Lumiere foundation for me, at least with my experience and what I've been playing around with it. The finish is glowy, it's kind of like a light to medium coverage, and it just gives you this beautiful luminosity, and without being sparkly like a Revlon PhotoReady, this just has a natural kind of like a textural luminosity to it rather than something that's optical and sparkly. So I really, really like this a lot. I love the PhotoReady BB cream. I'm not head over heels in love with it, but it's a really good BB cream. It's a tinted sunscreen, but it gives you quite a bit of coverage considering what it is. And you get SPF 30, which is a lot higher than other BB creams that I notice at the drugstore at least. Like the Garnier one, I don't even think has SPF in it. Like, what's the point of that? So this is, I think, one of the ones that came out a little bit after all the other ones came out. But I really quite like this. I was pretty surprised at how much I liked this, considering it was just kind of bought on a whim. But yeah, I really surprisingly enjoy that. The Maybelline Dream Lumi Concealer. All the shades I have are too light for me. This is nude. Let's put a little bit of this on. Yeah, no, this is just far too light for me. But the consistency of this I would liken to the, it's a little bit thicker than the Chanel Eclat Lumiere. It's closer to me to the Clinique airbrush and consistency-wise from, you know, how I played with it. And the thing that's really nice about this one is it gives you more concealing than it does light reflection. I think a lot of the light reflected concealers can just be pure shimmer, which is nice, you know, for highlighting purposes, but I like having a concealer and a highlighter just in one. Because, you know, a lot of us, I mean, I don't feel like my under eye circles are that bad, but, you know, the majority of us need a little bit of concealing done. So, yeah, this one is really nice, and it comes in quite a few shades, and it blends really nicely. I have a few different shades in my train case, actually, right, that black thing is my train case. That thing. I have a few different shades in there, and they do make correcting shades as well, so I do quite like this, and I don't know if I've heard a lot of people talking about it, so now my under eyes are just far too light for me, but hey. Oh, let's see, going along, oh, the Clinique blended face powder. Blended face powder and brush. It comes with a cute little retractable brush that the idea of it is really nice, even though it's a crappy brush. I keep it in my little makeup bag for touch-ups because I prefer using a brush to touch up than a sponge or a puff. But as you can see, the amount of product I've used, I've had this for a few years and it's lasted me a while. The thing I like about this is it is not like a silica powder. It's not going to photograph really strange, but it has some silica in it. I think it's a talc and silica blend. And so this is sort of like a nice natural finish loose powder, and it's really, I think it's like $22 or something like that. Whereas like the Mercier setting powder, the Chanel setting powder, the NARS setting powder, you know, whoever makes a setting powder, they tend to be quite a bit more than this. And you don't get as much product. You get 35 grams of product in here, which is like unreal. It's an amazing amount of product. And I just love the way that this looks on the skin. It doesn't look like powder. It's not a dry looking powder. It's not an obvious powder. It doesn't cling. So that's why I really like it. And again, the price is good. And they have a few different shades, which is always nice. And another thing I really like is it's quite a beige powder. It doesn't lean too yellow or too pink. So even though it's translucent, or it's more transparent actually, even though it's a transparent, translucent powder, it doesn't lean too pink. I find the Chanel ones can lean kind of pink, and the Laura Mercier one is slightly yellow, which is not a bad thing for my skin tone, but not everyone can use something like that. So that's why I like this one a lot. The concealer brush from the e.l.f. Professional line, the $1 one, I love that this is a small concealer brush, you guys. Like, so many of the concealer brushes out there are large, and that's great for doing large areas, but if you just have maybe a little pimple here or there, this kind of brush, this size, is amazing. And for $1, like, there's no reason why you shouldn't have at least 2 of these, and like, I have 2 of them. You can use this as a lip brush as well, and it's just the perfect size. It's so tiny, and so it makes it really easy to do spot concealing, which is usually what you should be using concealer for, unless you have a really large area you need to cover. So that's why I love this one, and it's $1. Amazing. The e.l.f. Wet Gloss Lash and Brow Clear Mascara. I know that I've heard someone talk about this before, but this is $1. I've gone through 3 or 4 tubes of this. I still have another one in my dresser behind me waiting for me to use because this one's kind of gunky now. But it's $1. It's a brow gel. It is a good brow gel. There is no reason why I would ever pay more for a brow gel because this is so good and it doesn't leave your brows crunchy, and I mean, it just puts them in place, and that's all you could ask for. It's not as glossy as I'd like, but that's a minor concern. So for $1, you get basically 2 brow gels. Why would you not? Sonia Kashuk Brush Cleanser. Everyone loves their MAC Brush Cleanser, and everyone loves... Oh, what else do people use? I don't know, I feel like I don't hear enough people talking about this, and the amount of pigment that this brush cleaner can get out of your brushes is unreal. Like, sometimes I'll use other brush cleansers and then I have to follow up with this because this will just get all the product out. Especially if you have a white haired brush like a MAC 217 or a goat hair like a Hakuhodo or a Shu Uemura goat brush for your face, Cover FX. This will get the product out. And there's no alcohol in here that I know of. No, it does have sodium lauryl sulfate, but there is no alcohol in here. So it's not going to dry out your brushes. Now, granted, a little bit of alcohol is not necessarily a bad thing for sanitation purposes, but too much alcohol is going to ruin your brush. And so that's why I really like this one, is it doesn't have alcohol in it, so it's not drying. And it still will get your brushes real clean. So, and I keep repurchasing this like all the time. Essence Multi-Action Blackest Black Mascara. I have not heard one person talk about this, and this is stunning. This to me is like Maybelline Full and Soft. Oh, poor thing, it's dried out. I gotta get rid of it. But for the price, it's amazing. For the way that it makes your lashes look amazing. It gives you a full, soft, fluttery looking lash for $2 or $3. It's not waterproof, which is the only downside for my personal straight lashes, but still amazing. The NARS Eyelash Curler. I've never heard one person talk about this, and this is the eyelash curler I swear by. Nothing fits my eye better. Simply because I can get right up at the root, like on the root of my eyelashes, curl, amazing. And it, for some reason, it keeps my lashes curled. I've used the Tarte one, which I gave to my mom because it didn't work for me. I've used the e.l.f. one, I've used the Tweezerman one, I've used the Revlon one. I've never tried the Chanel one, the Shu Uemura, the Shiseido. The Shiseido one's a bit flatter, which I think could work for me, but I don't like the little divot things on the top. That bothers me. And also the width of the curler is too short. I measured my eye, and I measured this. It's the exact same millimeter measurage length. This fits my eye perfectly, and it's matte black, and it's classic, and it's amazing, and it's 20 bucks. Like, not as much as some of the other ones that are pricier, and I just think it looks amazing. I swear by this. Swear by it. OCC Nail Polishes. Never really hear anyone talking about these at all, and I have so many of them. These are 4 here in the new packaging. I have a few in the old packaging. The shade range is impeccable. The formula is to die for. The brush is amazing, and the shades that they come out with are just so amazing. The references that these make, the uniqueness of some of the shades. You know, I've never seen any color like that. I haven't seen a color that looks exactly like this. I haven't seen really anything like this. This is stunning, and this is the best black I've ever used. For $10 a piece as well, you're not going to be losing an arm and a leg for a luxury designer, not designer, but a higher end nail polish. And also the Righteous Body Butter Lotion from Soap & Glory. I just repurchased this yesterday because I'm almost out of my other one that took me a year to finish. You guys, I'm a lotion fanatic. My skin is soft because I moisturize my skin twice a day, every single day. And this is, honestly, I think the best lotion I've ever used. The best lotion. It absorbs, it doesn't leave your skin feeling greasy. It smells amazing. You get a crap ton, 16.2 ounces, 500 ml. It's my phone. So good. Worth a shot. Really worth a try. So that is my products I feel like deserve more love because, yeah, why not give something love that deserves it? And my eyelash is still curled. Normally it would have fallen by now. Yeah, so that is my underloved products video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye, guys.